At this point, it is time for me to start splining my animations so that instead of stepping through them, they form a smooth, continuous shape. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my different animation layers so that I can deal with these things one at a time. The first thing, my first animation layer, is just the placement and the root control, and in each case, although I set keyframes on all of the channels, I really only need to deal with a couple of them. So it looks like on the root control I'm using translate X, translate Y, and not Z, so I can get rid of Z. I'm not using rotate X, I'm not using rotate Y, I am using rotate Z. So these are the only things that I need to worry about. I can just take all of them and I will do a plateau tangent here. Same thing with the placement control. I am not animating my visibility. I am not animating my translate X. I'm not animating translate Y. I am animating translate Z. Not doing any rotation. Nope. Nope. And I am not animating my scale, so I can get rid of all of those. And now all I've got is translate Z, so I'll take that and I will plateau that as well. Now you can see what that's doing. And if I hit play, that looks nice and smooth, so at this point I don't really have to adjust anything. Great, that is clean and tidy and easy to work with. So I'll come up to the next layer, which is the foot animation layer. On the foot animation layer, I really only have keyframes on these ball rotates and the foot placement. So again, am I translating X? No. Am I translating Y? Yes. Am I translating Z? Yes. Am I translating X? Ooh, that's a rotate. Am I rotating X? Yes, I am. But I am not rotating Y. And I'm not rotating Z. So there we go. This foot control only has those curves. I'm going to take them, spline them, and move on to the next one. This foot control is doing the same thing. There's no X, there is Y, there is Z, there's rotate X, there's no rotate Y, there's no rotate Z. Let's go back up to the control and spline. And now I can do the same thing for the ball rotate. It doesn't X, it doesn't Y, it only Z's. Grab that, spline it. Take this other one too. It doesn't X, it doesn't Y, it only Z's. Spline that. At this point, I will be able to look at the feet and the base jump, and I can see what they're doing. So now if I need to make adjustments to these channels, I can. That looks pretty good for now. I'm happy with that. So I will come on to the next animation layer, which is the spine. On the spine, I'm animating these 4 rotate controls. I can go through them one at a time the same way, get rid of any spare keyframes that I'm not using, and as I do this, I can take the curves that I find, spline them, and now I can test out the animation again. There we go. And the last thing that I've got is my arms. So I'll turn the arms back on. And in this case, I'm animating these 4 points. And I suspect that this one is probably going to be the worst one. Let's see how we're doing here. I think I'm using every single rotation channel, so I will just spline all of them, and I'm willing to bet that this is going to be a mess. It's actually not as bad as it could be. But you can see that this makes things much easier to organize and sort, and even to edit. So you'll recall from the ball with ears and a tail that it can be really nice to just offset some motions a little bit to give them more fluidity. If I come over onto my foot layer, or even if I make a new layer, maybe I will take these 2 foot controls and I'll stick them on another layer. Let's call this one foot offset. On this one, you'll see I've still got all the same motions, but now what I can do is I've got a completely blank slate, so maybe at frame 1, we start in the same place, and then at frame 12, I rotate this one to a slightly different degree. Maybe at frame 18, I continue to rotate it to a different degree. Maybe I also rotate the foot a little bit so that the foot is in just a slightly different place. Let's go back to frame 12 and zero that out. And then when we're in the air, maybe at frame 24, I take this, I pull it down a little bit, back a little bit, rotate it even further, rotate it even further, and now I've got this completely different position in the air. At frame 30, I kind of want to reset that back to where it should normally be. Maybe I'll even zero this out and just reset the rotation manually, like so. At 36, back to 0. So now I've done this wacky thing, and I've offset my legs a little bit. If I like it, I can keep it. If I don't like it, I can just turn that layer off and go right back to normal. So what I'd like to see from each of you is an animation where you've set up animation layers for all of your different pieces of the body. I'd also like to see an extra animation layer where you do create an offset so the character is animated asymmetrically. I think this will be a good exercise for you. It will let you practice some of your blocking skills, and it will help you get more natural human motions into your animations. Good luck!